Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another week of Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. I know I am. It is Tuesday. I am excited as always because it's Tuesday time for Real Family Talk. Let's introduce our panel here this evening. Joining us in behind the boards over there, we have Jeremy. How you doing tonight, Jeremy?
What's going on, family? What's going on?
All right. We have Miss Monica is in the building. How you doing, Miss Monica?
Good. How you doing, family?
Oh, we have Miss Shay is back with us tonight. How you doing tonight, Shay?
I'm doing good.
Oh, that's good. And we have a guest this evening. As I've told you last week, we were inviting artists up because of Black Music Month, and so tonight's guest is Surreal. How you doing tonight, Surreal?
I'm doing wonderful. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we appreciate having you, man.
Sure.
All right, so Real Family Talk is Tuesday. We're gonna get right into it, y'all. Before we get to talk to Surreal here, just have a comment I need to make about some things that have been happening in the news lately. No, don't say that, y'all. This is just some comments, just some observations. That's all they are. So obviously last Friday, the President Obama announced a change in the immigration policy that he was highlighting that was going to allow essentially children who were brought into this country by their parents under the age of 16, he was going to basically allow them to get some work visas, is essentially what was going to happen. Do me a favor, Jeremy, read exactly what he said, those bullet points that he outlined for these children.
About this memorandum?
Yes.
I'm setting forth how in the exercise of our prosecutorial discretion, the Department of Homeland Security should enforce the nation's immigration laws against certain young people who are brought to this country as children and know only this country is home. As a general matter, these individuals lack the intent to violate the law, and our ongoing review of pending removal cases is already offering administrative closure to many of them. However, additional measures are necessary to ensure that our enforcement resources are not expended on these low-priority cases, but are instead appropriately focused on people who meet our enforcement priorities. The following criteria should be satisfied before an individual is considered for an exercise of prosecutorial discretion pursuant to this memorandum. Came to the United States under the age of 16, has continuously resided in the United States for at least 5 years preceding the date of this memorandum, and is present in the United States on the date of this memorandum, is currently in school, has graduated from high school, has obtained a general education development certificate, or is an honorably discharged veteran of the Coast Guard or Armed Services of the United States, has not been convicted of a felony offense, a significant misdemeanor offense, multiple misdemeanor offenses, or otherwise poses a threat to the national security or public safety, and is not above the age of 30.
All right. So basically what he's doing is for children who were brought over here by their parents before the age of 16, he's not granting them citizenship. He is basically going to allow them to obtain a work visa for, I think it's a period of 2 years, and then he's going to allow them to continue to have said work visa. Okay. And so, this sounds like, a good idea. These kids, then to no fault of their own, they are here illegally, but it wasn't their fault. So he's helping them out. Here's my issue, though. My issue is the president seems to be pandering lately in order to get votes. Okay. At this particular issue at hand, and I wrote a blog about it, RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. In this particular issue, approximately 8 months ago, he was asked about this same issue, and his comment at that point was that he, as president, could not do anything about this situation. And now 8 months later, we're in the midst of a very contentious political season right now. His popularity seems to be waning at every moment, and yet he keeps bringing these what I call contentious issues that could truly make or break your election. He keeps bringing them up, And then from there, he's supporting ideas that, on average, most people don't touch. And here's my question. One of the things that we've said as black people is that we understand that he can't pander or he can't jump out there and support our issues because he would be then considered, he's just catering to blacks, and that's not a good thing. But yet, in this contentious political season, he keeps jumping out on these hotbed topics. First, it was gay marriage. Now it's immigration. Clearly pandering to the gays because he feels like maybe if I'm losing my black support, maybe I can pick up the slack with the gays. And now he's pandering to Hispanics because the big talk around the country is maybe possibly Mitt Romney might choose Marco Rubio, a Hispanic gentleman from Florida, as his running mate, which they're thinking may help persuade Hispanics to go with the Republican Party. So now he's brought out this truly Hispanic issue. Yes, there are Haitian immigrants. Yes, there are African immigrants. But let's be honest, immigration is a Hispanic issue. Okay, so I get that. But yet, in 4 years, he has not jumped out one time on what I would call a general black issue. And it's like, it's okay to do for others, but y'all gonna support me anyway, so I'll get down. Just give me 4 more years and I'll make sure y'all taken care of. It's like, when are we your names, or not namesake, but we'll say your color, when are we gonna get some love, Mr. President? What is it going to take for us to get love? I mean, yes, do we have to get you back in the office, and then once again you'll promise I got y'all, because in 4 years you kind of haven't got us, and now leading into this contentious political season, you're making sure you get everybody else. But when are you going to get us, Mr. President? That's what I want to know. When are you going to get us? And y'all have any comments? I mean, to me, I'm almost offended that he's jumping out here on these issues, but he has said has nothing to say about any issues specifically related to or important to Black America. I'm offended. That's all I'm saying. When we gonna get some love, Mr. Black President? 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680. That's the question at the moment. I don't know, Jeremy, Miss Monica, do y'all have a comment on that? Because I know y'all looking at me like you need to leave our president alone.
Now this is the first. Now this is what's hilarious to me. I'm looking at the look on Surreal's face, and he's looking at you like, "Are you serious?"
Welcome to Real Family Talk.
I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'll talk about my opinions off the air.
I warned you about the politics. Yeah. I warned you before you walked in here.
I already told Surreal he doesn't have to say a word. I'm talking to Jeremy and Miss Monica. Yeah, I'm talking to the audience. I mean, am I crazy? 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680. Is it me? Is it just me? Am I the only person sitting back going, really, President? Really? Really? That. Answer me. I mean, Jeremy, Miss Monica.
I think no matter what the issue is, whatever President Obama does, you'll be sitting back saying, really, really, really.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
So I'm not surprised at all. But I think maybe he's looking for those areas that he does feel like he may not have the grasp of for votes. So he is making those extreme circumstances and going out there and doing those things to get the attention of those voters. Is it wrong to do? I don't think necessarily it's wrong to do. It's politics. He's trying to get the voters, and that's the name of the game. But he did mention change, and so he's trying to make changes, whether it's the changes that we think he should be making or not. He's definitely trying to do that. And I mean, it's a benefit to a lot of people, so it doesn't hurt us. And it helps a lot of other people in our community as a whole. But granted, I do see what you're saying, that he hasn't particularly addressed a issue that's related to Black America And the question is, why exactly has he waited so long to do that? That I can't answer. But I see what you're saying, but I mean, hey, he's got to do what he has to do. He knows that his ratings in some areas are going down, and he doesn't have a lot of options anymore, so he's got to do what he has to do, like that dinner and all that other stuff, which we're not going to get into because we don't want you to go there. But
notice how me and Sorrel are just so quiet. We have nothing to say.
But, you know, I mean, that's the name of the game.
Is that Jeremy? Is that your comment as well, Jeremy?
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, like I said before, he's a politician. I mean, he has to do what he has to do. You know, he's trying to get reelected. Of course, he's gonna pull out all the, you know, the political strategies and things like that. I mean, to me, I think it's his responsibility to do this. You know, he is trying to get reelected, and you know, Lord willing, on the second term, maybe he can touch us a little bit more.
So as long as he gets in office for the second term, whatever he need to do that, you know, he can ignore Black America the whole time, and that's okay. Not a problem.
I would just like to
do
say
what
something.
you got to do.
Okay. How you feeling about where are you for the Black community, Obama? Maybe that was how other minorities like the gays and the immigrants and everything, maybe that's how they felt when he was running, because it was always just a big issue, and we're going to have a Black president, a Black community rising to the top, and the White House now a Black house, but what about the other minorities? They felt like this. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Cause
you mean that other minorities feel like they might be ignored because there is a Black president?
Yeah.
Well, I look at it like this. Obviously, for many, many years in this country, we've had no color in the White House whatsoever. Everybody has been white, okay, up until President Obama here. And so, yes, might they feel slighted because there's a Black president and perhaps not a Hispanic president? Sure. I'm sure that is a very valid concern of someone who might have been Hispanic. I could see that. But what I would say to that is, barring what this president has done, in my mind, I would think any president of color would be sensitive to issues of people of color. And to me, that's what would make a great president of color, okay? To me, some of the fail of this particular president of color is that he isn't, in my opinion, as sensitive to some of these issues, in the sense that what we've wanted to hear from our white presidents for so long is them make comments about issues that we're concerned about from the pulpit of the White House. And so having a president of color, one of the things that, me personally anyway, that I wanted to see is issues related to colored people, or people of color, let's say, addressed from the White House. And that is the failure. I mean, sure, this Hispanic issue, okay, so now we've got something. But to me, like I said, being that 8 months ago, he told a group of Hispanics, I believe, that were questioning him, or anyway, people of color that were questioning him, that this is something that he could not do as president. Impossible. Oh, I can't do that. There's laws in place that prevent me from doing stuff like this. 8 months later, he's in a contentious race. Let me do this. So, did the law change and we didn't know about it? I mean, you know, this is clearly pandering. And so I'm saying, if you're going to pander, my point is this: if you're going to pander to me. I want to be pandered to too. You know, you want me to vote for you? I need you to pander to me. I don't need you telling me vote for me and worry about you getting yours in the next 4 years. I don't need that. Because you know what? That's exactly what, you know, President Bush would have told me. You know, hey, vote me in the office, and in the next 4 years, I'll make sure I take care of you. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of y'all would say Bush ain't never take care of y'all. So, so what makes him any different besides the fact, of course, you know, he looks like you.
I think you're putting too much pressure on the president, because
God.
You're talking about okay.
407-894-1680.
Our other option is Mitt Romney. Okay, he has flipped more times than a dying fish on subjects. He'll tell you one thing, and the media has caught him flipping on subjects. And so you can't necessarily say, oh, well, President, you're saying this talk one day and then the next day you're changing on the subject. That's not really fair because the other candidate does it very frequently. And probably we will see it done in the debates. We will see it done in any other speech that he makes. And it's very well known without America that he changes his mind quite frequently on certain topics, depending on who's there and who's going to pay attention and who's going to give him that vote. So we can't even go there, J. Real, because Mitt Romney will do it exactly the same. And he is definitely, I believe, is not going to be much at all interested in the issues of Black America. So why would we expect for President Obama to be, oh, I'm only going to take care of these issues because I am biracial, and not expect that from any other president and give him a hard time about it?
Yeah, I'm going to move on, but neither one of y'all really addressed my question. My question simply was, why is he pandering to everyone else but can't pander to us? That is my question. And to me, you're talking about fair. You're right. Mitt Romney isn't going to pander to us, but Mitt Romney is not going to do a whole lot of pandering, especially in the immigration issue, towards Hispanics either. He's not going to do a whole lot of pandering, especially when it comes to gay marriage, to gays either. So you're right. He does flip-flop on some things, but issues like that, issues that quote-unquote matter to Christians, quote-unquote matter to the conservatives, to those that believe marriage is between a man and woman, people like that aren't going to change their mind on those types of issues. Other little things, you're right, they will, but not these kind of issues that, like I say, they tend to make or break your political office. That's what gay marriage does. There's people who support it, and as soon as they find out they support it, they lose political elections. Immigration, people who think we should open the borders and just let everybody become citizens, people who support those kind of ideas typically lose elections. Now, granted, he didn't say let them be citizens, but just here's the idea. So you're going to allow all of these new people to get work visas, and I don't know how many millions of people we're talking about, in the middle of what is clearly a recession, what is clearly a time when people are finding it hard to get jobs, and now we're going to add another couple of million people to the job market? Really?
But
that's pandering.
Yeah. They're already working.
They were already part of the job market. They just wasn't
on that.
You know that. You know that. They were getting paid cash under the table.
Like I said, I'm going to move on because I know.
You know that. They were already part of the job market.
I know how much y'all love y'all president.
It's not, no.
And y'all will not
to me, that
deter from the
music.
To me, y'all will not deter. That has nothing to do with loving the president. That's just reality. They were already part of the job market. This is something.
Getting Medicaid.
I actually believe it's actually a good idea. I mean, what are you going to do? Somebody was brought in this country with their parents, and they were 5. They grew up here. They get a diploma here.
I'm not saying deport them. I'm not saying deport them. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. That's not my issue. My issue is not about it being a good idea or a bad idea. My issue goes back to pandering. If you can pander to them, you should be able to pander to us. It's a simple issue of pandering.
Yeah, we do. We got a few months left.
It's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years, and hopefully it'll be 4 more.
We'll see. Well, we will move on. 407-894-1680. Like I did say, I have an artist in the building tonight, Surreal. Surreal will be giving away some CDs tonight as well. So if you are interested in getting a CD, what we're going to do is going to give them out to the third caller. So the third caller. So if you call in and you are the third caller, we'll be collecting your name and number and making sure we get an address, and we'll make sure you get a copy of his latest CD called I've Been Changed. And so again, the third caller, 407-894-1680, 407-894-1680. So, Surreal, how you doing tonight,
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, like I said, we're glad to have you here, man. So, Surreal, go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to the people a little bit.
Sure, sounds good. Well, first and foremost, for those who don't know, I go by the stage name Surreal, as J. Real continues to say. It's a unique spelling. It's the word lyric spelled backwards. I spell it Ciryl. And every time I tell people that, so it's a little play on words, but I do consider myself a lyricist. I consider myself a lyricist, so it's definitely a play on words. And I've been doing this music thing for a while. I just recently released my 5th album. It's entitled I've Been Changed. And I would say as of late, within the last year and a half, I've really been stepping up as far as getting the music out there. 5 albums, but I feel like in years past, it's been more like, I think about the story of David in the Bible. There was a time before he was anointed king, he was simply tending to sheep. And then it became an appointed time for him to step forth and do what he was called to do on a greater scale. So I feel like I'm in that season of my life. And I'm the CEO of a record label. It's called Commissioned Affiliates Records. And our whole mission is to live with integrity while consistently serving people hope through Jesus Christ by way of music. So just enjoying the ride, man.
Awesome, man. That sounds good, man. I like that. We need more independent labels out there.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone telling me what I can and cannot say on a record.
Exactly.
I just can't imagine someone trying to filter that, because music to me is more than just music. Yeah, I let out my emotions. I let out what I'm feeling at the time. Whatever emotion I'm feeling at the time, I let it out through song.
Right, and that's music should be that way.
Yeah,
it should just be pure emotion, so that when you listen to a track, you have a connection to that track, a connection to what the artist is saying, so that it in some way inspires what you want to do, or inspires you to keep going, or whatever it is that you need at that moment. So,
absolutely.
So definitely,
we can't relate. Why are we listening to it? What is the purpose?
Absolutely.
So I get completely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's with my music. A lot of it's transparent, and my thing with it is it's something that anybody can relate to.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So you say you've been now you are local, right?
Yeah, live right here in Orlando.
Now, were you born and raised in Orlando?
No, I was born in. I've been all over, man. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and when I was about 10 years old, my mother, because of the environment in Chicago, South Side, terrible, she moved us to the West Coast, Tacoma, Washington. It's near Seattle. And pretty much grew up out there, high school and whatnot. And then I came out to Florida to go to school, man, and decided to stay out here and pursue this music on a greater scale. I started rapping at the age of 14 years old. Me and a group of friends, we went to a camp. And on the last day of camp, they had a talent show. And at the talent show, we said, hey, well, let's rap. Let's say a rhyme. And listen, when we rapped during that talent show, I felt like I was putting on a glove. I felt like this is what I was created to do. I had one of those experiences like this is what I was created to do. And since then, man, God just showed me, hey, I want you to use this music to bring hope and touch people's lives.
Awesome. That is awesome, man. Let's go ahead and get into your track real quick. Tell us about the track we're going to play.
Yeah, this is track number 4 off of my new album called I've Been Changed. And this song is called I Got Him. And him means Jesus Christ. Man, it wasn't always like that. There was a time where I was just kind of doing me. But, man, when I found out God's love for me and realized that there was a purpose for my life, man, it was on since then. And that's what my music is about. And I got on this particular song, I'm on the first verse, but I got some of the finest artists in Orlando on this track. I got my man Papa Willie on this track, Othello Tukes, my sister Adela Adams, a.k.a. Lady Lyric, and then my little sister Misha. So we going in on this track, so check it out. And the third caller get a free copy of the full album, which is 21 tracks. So enjoy.
Push on in the ear if you know you got him. Push on in the ear if you know you got him.
What you are about to witness, you have never heard before. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Jump my one, volume 3.
When they see us riding by, run our hands to the sky, and they ask us why we get so live, we reply,
You know I got him, you know I got him, you know I got him, you know I got
so
him.
if you coming this way, better know we don't play. When they ask us where we get this ride from, we gon' say,
You know I got him, you know I got him, you know I got him, you know I got him.
you know I got him by my swag and how that boy be talking. You know I got him by my limp and how that boy be walking. He my daddy, go ahead, try to clap me, but it won't go through like a comb and some nappy. Here, I will gladly show you how does it, so no need to jack me. I am not Robin, son, Jackie, but I'm still major league and time to break out. Acme, exactly. You see, we get it poppin' for the most high. No lie, we ain't scared of no guy. Reaching souls, multi-cultural, hola, Espanol. Lay back, no stressing, no light skin, spirit filled. No, it ain't hard to spot 'em. Got these verses in my head. Nope, it ain't hard to drop 'em. See, I take my regular voice and I screw it up and chop 'em like.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
When they see us riding by, run our hands to the sky, and they ask us why we get so live, we reply.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
So if you coming this way, better know we don't play. When they ask us where we get the swag from, we gon' say.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
You know I got 'em 'cause your girl's a hot commodity. Merchandise hotter than the product of a robbery. But this product's not for sale, can't pay for it properly. I'm bought by the blood, I'm already God's property. And this is not to boast, to him all credits due. Representing Christ like a magic fan, white and blue, spokeswoman for the Lord. I'm the one he speaks to, gave me life abundantly. Now don't you wish you had him
When
too?
me say that me got him, not just chanting him. Don't know, say me got him in me bones and in me limbs. From me crown and me head to me getters and me things. Thank God for him, in your blood you not swim. Why you head from me think you are with me? You are war with me, you are war with me. Got the whole of them, now got him like I. Who me recognize is Jesus Christ.
When they see us riding by, run our hands to the sky, and they ask us why we get so live, we reply.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
So if you coming this way, better know we don't play. When they ask us where we get the swag from, we gon' say.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
I got Jesus on my mind, but let me tell you what's vexing me. Too many times, dudes trying to step to me and thinking that your fancy crime's gonna be a test for me. But I'm so covered in it, but it's not even affecting me. Cause you see, he's the reason why I'm steady breathing, believing, constantly reading this word. That's why I'm wide receiving all of his blessings. Yes, I'm correcting you, cause nobody can do me like he do.
Holy Ghost so good, I just wanna cry out. It's more than the feeling, singing praises on my mouth. Holy Ghost fire, his power's off the chain. From the young came back, yeah, I'm still in the game. And we close up and doors, see the million-man walking. They say I'm so good, but that's the God in me talking. Million-man walking, don't hate on me, cause I'm anointed man, I'm a soldier. They see us riding by, run our hands to the sky, and they ask us why we get so live, we reply.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got
So
'em.
if you coming this way, better know we don't play. When they ask us where we get the swag from, we gon' say.
You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em. You know I got 'em.
Yeah, yeah. I got 'em. I got 'em. We got 'em. We got 'em. Do you got 'em? Do you got 'em? Hey! Hey!
All right, so I got him right.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
name? Oh, all right, I got him.
I
like
got him.
that.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I like that. I got him, and then showing all kinds of love to the city too. I
Yeah,
see.
got to.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. So, tell me about this song, I Got Him. How did that come about with all of these different artists around the city here?
Well, when I'm creating music, I'm just crazy with it. God just gives me all types of ideas, and it was the type of beat. I made the track first. I produce all my own tracks as well,
Okay,
and all
okay.
my own lyrics as well. I made the track first, and then it had that type of vibe, feel good. And I said, you know what? Let me get some of my friends on this, and let's have some fun with it. So it's funny. We were all in the studio at different times. I brought each one in at different times. So they didn't hear each other's verses until the entire song was done. So when they heard it all as one, they were all blown away. So it was just a lot of fun. I like doing stuff like that, and just having some fun with it.
That is awesome, man. We did have someone call in and get the first CD.
Awesome.
Antoinette Richardson. Is that right, Jeremy?
Yeah, that's correct.
Congratulations.
Antoinette Richardson. So congratulations, Antoinette Richardson. Again, 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. We actually are going to go ahead and give out another one as well. We'll just do the second caller this time.
Sure.
So you'll go ahead and do another one as well. 407-894-1680. The artist is Surreal. The name of the album is I've Been Changed.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And for those of you listening, my website is www.carecords with an S online.com. That's www.carecordsonline.com. And if you go there, I got a couple free downloads right on the home page for you. So if you check it out, download a couple songs.
Awesome. carecordsonline.com.
Yes,
Commissioned affiliates, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys have any questions for our artist tonight?
Let's see. What would you say? What would you say out of your new record that you have is maybe your favorite song, or what really touches home the most?
It depends on what type of mood I'm in. That particular song that we just played, I Got 'Em, is when I'm riding in the car, sunshine, Florida, summertime, which is in a couple of days. That's the type of mood I'm in. But there's a particular song on here, number 7. It's called I Worship You. And I've shed many tears just listening to that song, driving or whatever I'm doing. It's just really a simple, intimate song, because I sing a little bit as well. It's just every song to me is more than just a song. I think of each song as a prayer unto God. So it's how I relate to him musically. So that one is on that vibe, and then I have some other ones. A song called Greatness, which is the last song on the album, and that's really encouraging. Just reminding me what it takes to walk in greatness.
That is good. And just continuing on with talking about music here, one of the things that I've noticed lately, people have been doing, gospel rap for many, many, many years now. But one of the things that I noticed lately, especially in the city, there's now a station here that continually plays gospel rap on a 24/7 basis.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. But it's starting to get more respect. And I think a lot of that goes back and attributes to some of the artists that are doing the music, because you're no longer looking at them as, these kids who do hip hop and now they're doing Jesus hip hop.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing, the artists become ministers. And I believe, that's that connection, especially when you're talking about the traditional church.
Yeah.
That's the connection I think the traditional church needs. They need to feel that, yes, you're young, yes, you seem to be talking in these fast words that don't quite make sense to me, but I can feel the spirit in what you do. Mm-hmm. And so because I can see that, let me find out at least what you are. I mean, how do you feel about how people receive you, now compared to maybe 4 years ago?
Well, it's funny because when I first started at 14 years old, my own mother didn't like what I was doing, because it was so new to, and she questioned. And so I didn't rebel and go crazy. I just felt that this is what I'm supposed to do. My message, my content. I was a fan of rap music. So I don't consider myself, a lot of people, they put the label on it like Christian rapper. I'm a rap artist. I am, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. I'm a man of God, period. And I happen to rap. So, I don't so much put the label on it, but I know that it's done. So I'm not trying to run from that. It's done. But, man, as far as the one of the things that made me want to start doing music, it was because I wanted to do something that was quality, that had a message that could help somebody. Not to bring down the mood tonight, but when I was 14 years old, there was also on my birthday, my uncle committed suicide. And so hearing a rapper talking about how much money he has, how many women he slept with, that didn't help me at the time that I needed to hear something that was going to uplift me and let me know, hey, you can make it. You don't have to take your life and take that route. Mm-hmm. So that's why the music that I do, and we'll have fun with it, but ultimately it's to bring and inspire and to let people know, hey, there's a greater purpose for your life. There's hope.
Exactly. And it's a shame we don't see or hear on a consistent basis more, positive rap music. It's a shame that what seems to be dominating the airways, dominating even popular culture from a marketing perspective is, quote unquote, music that seems to degrade women or seems to simply just glorify, worldly things, if you will, or at least having money or whatever the case may be. Whereas not that it doesn't exist, because we know there's, thousands, if not millions of artists who are making music that is trying to to uplift people, whether they use Jesus as the backdrop of their message, or if they're just talking positive things.
Yeah.
They're out there, but because, quote unquote, it doesn't sell, you can't find it anywhere. And then if you do find it, you got to go search under the rocks. You got to find it behind the alley, in the back alleyway.
I believe
it's
gaining more exposure, though, too. Music with a different type of message, because people are starting to realize, hey, you're not really shooting people and doing drugs. You got a mansion on the hill.
Exactly.
You're not doing all of that stuff. So I think people are starting to come to the realization of that. And then it's marketing, too. They're buying things that are placed in their face. And a lot of times people, they just draw towards that whatever's out there was being marketed and thrown in their face the most. And unfortunately, that's a lot of music that has a message that is, contrary to what we would say is a positive message.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. Jeremy, you got some comments? I know you listen to a lot of music as well.
Yeah, I would just, I think that's what I appreciate about the positive hip hop in general. It's very uplifting, and I am glad that it's gaining a lot more exposure now, and that's why I appreciate guys like Surreal. You really getting out and grinding, as they say, and exposing yourself, because I think that's attributable to what's gaining the genre more exposure now too. Where you look on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and things like that, it's putting it out there, because I mean, you can kind of feel when you see you can see, like, it's a generation of kids out here that's kind of tired of that same old what's on the radio. It's because it's getting like mind numbing. It's like, it really is. I mean, I'm getting older, so I'm really starting to get like, okay, come on, something, bring me something.
Songs about chicken soup and
it's like,
stuff.
come on, give me something I can think about.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really appreciate it, man. I mean.
And even though the music may have a more positive message, one of the things that I know, I got to bring it lyrically. I got to bring it production-wise.
Exactly.
Just because I got a message that may bring hope, that doesn't mean that my music can be soft or irrelevant. You know what I mean? I got to bring it. Mm-hmm. I recognize that the quality, the sound, and so that's why all of my projects, the quality, it's top-notch, period. That's one of the things that I said, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it. Why not? Not afraid to be great and to take it to a whole new level.
Right.
Exactly. We definitely, like you say, have to bring it, and especially in this industry, if the world is loud and yelling loud about what they feel and what they believe, and that's what a lot of young kids are hearing, we have to be just as loud, if not louder, and at a level at theirs or better than theirs, to get the attention turned towards what they really should be listening to, and what they really should be, allowing to get into their spirits and things like that. So
absolutely,
it's definitely, I absolutely agree with what you're doing. I think it's awesome, because we really need that, especially in this era with so much going on with TV and all these other things. There needs to be more positive going into these kids, so that they can realize there is more beyond what they see and what they hear at this time.
Absolutely. And our goal with Commission Affiliates Records is not even to be an alternative to the negative music, quote unquote. We want to be the choice. Period. Right. We're not even worried about what they're doing over there. We want to be the choice. You know what I mean? Like, this is where it's at, and that's why my content, I deliver it with boldness, because I know who I am. I know who I represent, and it's time.
Right.
I'm not scared. I tell my mom the other day, I said, "Mom, I done lost my mind." I said, I'm not scared of anybody's opinions. I know what I'm here for. I know why I was created, and every day that goes by, I'm learning even more and more about the purpose that God has for my life. So I'm all in.
And that's what we need, man. We that kind of confidence, that kind of, you listen to your production. Your production is on point. I mean, you're doing everything yourself.
Yes, sir.
Which, again, I'm a big fan of any and everybody who's doing and producing their own music, who is distributing their own music. Because so many people today who want to get into the music industry are so focused on trying to chase somebody down who's going to put them on. And one of the things I do is I listen to a lot of music, but not only that, I like to study the industry. And when you're looking at the industry right now, is successful not because record labels are making artists. The industry is successful because artists are making themselves, and then record labels are simply adding in a few extra dollars to make sure that their name gets out there. And so, you know, when we're talking about, you know, the type of music that you do, and having your own label, that's going to be the key, you know, to getting your message out there, is putting it out there yourself, building your own brand, and then letting somebody else sponsor the brand.
Absolutely.
You know,
Right.
and you know, and picking your own sponsor. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that if you don't want Budweiser to sponsor, don't ask for, you know, I got money, Budweiser, I don't need you. I can wait for a Sprint, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. You know, and that's the thing that just moves me.
Sure.
Is just that independent spirit, that I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
I got my own label. I got my Twitter. I got my Facebook. I got my YouTube.
Everything.
Everything is surreal. It's branded.
Speaking
you know?
of that, if you want to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, it's Surreal Music. So at Surreal Music on Twitter, you type in my stage name. Pretty much, you type in my stage name on Google, CRRYL. It's going to be the first name that pops up. You're going to see a link to one of my albums. So very much online, and just like you said, J. Real, with the structure of society today, with the internet and the transfer information, we all here got cell phones, playing with them, as we we tweet right now, so I can tweet to, you know, everybody that's following me and let them know, hey, I'm on the radio now. So it's easy to connect with people these days, and if you take advantage of it, you can use it to your advantage.
Definitely. Remember, we got another CD of Surreal that we're going to give out. Again,
Yes,
it's called I've Been Changed. So 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680 is the number here. So yeah, man, I mean, you know, like I said, just this whole positive vibe that you have going on, the whole independent spirit. You know, I have some other people coming on next week as well, who kind of, you know, follow that mold, that independent spirit, that we're going to make it happen on our own. We don't need anybody. We're going to do what we do. We know what we do is good, and we're going to make sure the people find it, love it. And, you know, like I said, there's nothing more beautiful in that, in and of itself. So certainly I support you, and hopefully the Real Family Talk family out there listening to us, those that are listening on the website, realfamilytalk.weebly.com, you know, hopefully, you know, even if you don't call in tonight to get this free CD, that is free, right?
Y'all better call in and get a free CD.
1680.
21 tracks.
Y'all know.
Y'all better stop playing.
I mean, who wants to spend $10 on a CD anymore?
$15 for 7 tracks.
It's all right. I'll take it.
If you don't get them, we'll get them. We'll take them home.
So, yeah, 407-894-1680. That is the number. You know, looking at music, like we're saying, we are seeing a growth in, you know, positive hip hop. And like I said, there's a channel here locally that plays consistently all positive hip hop and R&B music, which is exciting in and of itself. That we now have something like that in the city. I mean, just a year? They've been there now for about 2 years or a year and a half, something like that.
Now, are you talking about 95.9? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
It's in my car.
But yeah, so I think it may be a little over a year they've been there. And so that's exciting that we have something like that in the city now, to help promote, you know, artists like yourself, give you an opportunity to get radio play, because you know, I'm sure it's very difficult to try and get on some of those other guys, simply because your message is positive, and they're not trying to sell that right now. They're looking for cake and birthday cakes and stuff.
But you know what? I've been finding something different though. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. I mean, it's still happening as we speak, but I've been to venues that, you know, aren't churches, so to speak. I'll just leave it at that. And they're very receptive, man. People, they appreciate good music.
Right.
And they can tell when you put your heart and your soul into it.
And that's the key. That's the key. Because a lot of times, most people who listen to music anyway, before they hear what you have to say, they have to catch your beat.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they can't even catch your beat, then they're not going to hear what you have to say anyway. And so simply, I haven't heard the rest of the album, but just that track, I mean, that track, the beat had you from the first few notes. Within the first 30 seconds, you were at least into the beat.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, the beat's good, so what else does he have to say? And so, and that's the key, when you're moving it outside of the quote-unquote church venue, that's the key, is the beat on point. And if the beat's on point, you're right, they are going to listen. And from there, who knows what can happen.
Sure.
Because it's all about exposure. And so as long as you're getting it out there, eventually people will grasp to it and hold on to it and feel the message and move your agenda forward and help you move to the places that you need to be in music. So,
yes, sir.
Definitely. That is so true. 407-894-1680. You guys have any other comments?
Well, I was just going to piggyback off of what you were saying. That's really the point of ministry and music ministry, is to reach people in all different ways, in all different types of avenues and venues. So it's awesome and really great that you're being invited to those different kind of venues and are being receptive, because the word of God should be traveled in every place. So for you to be able to do that is very good. And I'm glad that they are being receptive, because that was actually going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
And if you found that, I know a lot of regular artists that transition into gospel music, a lot of times they'll transition back because they're just not making a lot of money.
Well, see, to me, you're right. I mean, to me, it's not even, I don't even think of it as a genre of music. I mean, I am a Christian, so I'm going to speak about my relationship with God, and I'm going to have some fun with it. There's a song on the album, number 2. It's called Beat on the Drums. Got a music video for that as well on YouTube. Check it out. But that song, you can play that in a church or in a club, and anybody will dance to it, period. You know what I mean? And they listen to the message, okay, I see what he's about. You see what I represent. I don't have to degrade women in my music, and I'll still have wordplay lyrically, and to have you thinking and thought-provoking. And it's something, that's what we're doing, is something that they've never heard before, period. That's all I can say. So I totally, absolutely. And then the message, the content is not just talking about us and how much money we get, is leading them to someone that's greater, and that's Jesus Christ.
I have a question. How long have you had your label up and running?
The label is man, I would say the last 2 years actually, officially up and running. Okay. The name is crazy how it all went about. I was rapping with a friend of mine. He was 18 years old. His name is AJ, and this was back in 2004. And he came up with the name Commissioned Affiliates. And by the way, commission simply means, sent to carry out a task from a higher authority, which is God and Jesus Christ. And affiliates is another word for group or gang, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, he came up with the name. We were thinking of a group name. I was like, yeah, that worked. So that worked. So we were walking around. We were working on his first album. Going to work on his first album called Commission, under the Commission Affiliates name, group name. But coming back from a trip doing ministry, he was in a van full of 11 people, and the van flips over. And out of all the 11 people, my friend AJ was the only one that died. And that thing right there devastated me. That right there, because I was mad at God for a season. I'm like, how could you let this happen? You got guys out there that are speaking about things that we know that you don't agree with because it's not in your word, but yet they're living. So after I got over my little pity party, God said, okay, AJ's going to live through you. And so even in our record label logo, it's a C and an A, Commission Affiliates. We have a silhouette of AJ holding a microphone, preaching to the masses. But once that happened, man, I said, you know what, let me take this group name and turn it officially into a record label. And it's just ignited a fire in me, and since then it's just been on.
Awesome.
That's I like that.
Definitely. And I see, I'm looking at the CD here.
Yes, sir.
Remember, we're giving one away, 407-894-1680. And AJ is, I guess, one of your executive producers. I guess
every album,
every album, huh?
Every album, because he's like my motivation. AJ was very good lyrically beyond his years. He was only 18 years old, and it's funny, when I first started doing music, I used to just feel like if the beat was good, I can say whatever and just rhyme, ABC rhymes. You know what I mean? But AJ was like, I remember he came, I got so mad at him, I wanted to swing on him. He came at me and he said, "Man, you rapping like you are already made it. You know what I mean? You got to put more effort into your lyrics. And since then, my lyrical content has gone to a whole nother level, and I released 5 albums. I actually haven't written, I don't even write my lyrics. I haven't even written a rhyme since 2007. I stopped writing my lyrics. When I'm making a beat, I think out the lyrical content, and I challenge my mind mentally to develop, trust God to develop my mind mentally to come up with the rhyme. So I haven't written a rhyme. None of my rhymes are on paper. Just always thinking of ways to get better. And that's what I mean. The world, they're going to be attracted to excellence. When you're doing something with a spirit of excellence, it attracts anybody. So that's what we're about, doing it with excellence.
Awesome.
Taking it to a whole new level.
Definitely. And well, we appreciate you coming by, Surreal.
Man, I appreciate being here, man. I had a good time.
Thank you so much.
I didn't get caught up in the politics. We can talk music all day.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming by, man. Remember, that is carecordsonline.com. That's where you can find the Commission Affiliates record label. At Surreal Music on Twitter, at Surreal Music on Facebook, the YouTube page, Surreal Music as well.
Hey,
right?
man, let's keep it going. That's it.
The YouTube
Just keep
page,
it real simple.
Surreal Music as well. Remember, we only have about 10 minutes left in the show now, since I guess the second caller isn't coming. I guess we'll just give it out to the first caller. So whoever calls up next will definitely get the copy of this new CD, I've Been Changed, by Surreal. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. Before we get out of here, I just have a quick little comment I'm going to make about some recent news that just happened as well. Before I forget, though, because I've been running out of time lately, remember you can follow the show. The website is RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com, RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. We have links to all of the, there it is. We have links to all of the past shows on there. I blog. This is J Real Blogs on there. I'm your host, of course. So there's a lot of blogs on there that I've done over the past 6 months here. So you can check that out as well. You can also kind of meet the family on there as well. So check that out, RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. We have our YouTube page, Real Family Talk. You can catch all of the past shows on the YouTube page. We also have our Twitter account, Real Family Talk, as well. And then, of course, we have the Facebook account, Real Family Talk. So please reach out to us. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. The email, too, if you'd like that. If you want to email us, again, realfamilytalk at gmail.com. All right. So, yes, Real Family Talk, of course. But my comment here is recently, of course, Rodney King died over the weekend. And I've been doing a lot of, or at least seeing a lot of articles written about his kind of place in civil rights. And my comment on that is, was Rodney King important? Of course, it was his beating that led to the L.A. riots. But when I think about civil rights, I don't necessarily know that I equate Rodney King himself with civil rights. Certainly his videotaping of his beating, brought about some change and certainly put in the spotlight an issue that has been going on, and still is, for that matter, going on in society. But it wasn't anything that he did. He just so happened to be that guy at that moment in time. And so we certainly R.I.P., if you will, to Rodney King. But I think, to see these articles and talk about his place in civil rights, I don't know, to me that just seems, when I think about what Martin Luther King did towards civil rights, when I think about Malcolm X in civil rights, people like Frederick Douglass in civil rights, to me Rodney King just does not measure up to really put him in that particular category. I see we have a caller. How you doing, caller? Hello? Hi. What's your name?
My name is Raylyn from Boston.
All right. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
You got some comments tonight?
Well, the comment that I had was basically you all were talking about politics and sort of how Christians have a particular stance on views, and I related to abortion or, what have you, and President Obama. And I kind of wanted to tie it into what Surreal was talking about. He mentioned how he doesn't really prescribe or subscribe to a particular genre of music. He just reflects what his relationship is with God and lets that speak for itself, and lets the listener choose in terms of what they want to listen to or what they want to adapt to. And I feel like we should do the same things in general as Christians, like within the political realm. I feel like we don't necessarily need to take a certain stance or quote-unquote Christian stance on abortion and vote Republican, or take a certain stance on immigration laws and vote whichever way. I feel like if we allowed our lives to kind of shine, I feel like a lot more people would be drawn to Christ, as opposed to us taking these kind of very firm stances, not really budging on them and not allowing them to see the love and the grace of God. I feel like God, like I had this conversation actually over the weekend with friends about abortion, and I actually am pro-choice, only because I feel like God has given us the choice to choose him or not to. He's given us free will, and I feel like it's kind of anti-Christian to force our beliefs and force our laws or what have you on others when God himself has yet to do that to us. He's given us a chance each and every day. We have, you know, the right to choose life or death. And I just kind of wanted to tie that in there. I feel like if we were kind of took more of an approach the way he is with his music, if we took that approach with our lives in general, or with our political beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever, I feel like we would draw more people to Christ as opposed to pushing them away from the gospel. That's it.
All right, I appreciate that. And you know what? I actually agree with you. To me, I always believe what we believe politically and what we do spiritually are two different things, in my opinion. Because, like you say, as I see it, you know, God gives us the choice to do right or wrong. And so, you know, when it comes to freedom in a particular, in our country, which is what we're supposed to be about, then I think people should have the freedom to do right or wrong. And, you know, to an extent, it should not be dictated on them, especially when you're talking about things that affect them just personally. Because if you're going to have an abortion, regardless of what I believe, it has no effect on my life, if you will. And so if that's what you choose to do, then that's what you choose to do. So I agree wholeheartedly with you on that point. We appreciate the comment, though.
Thank you. And just like I was going to say, hopefully the goal in the end is that our light so shines before men that it will draw them closer to Christ, as opposed to making them, you know, conform to our beliefs. You know?
Exactly, because you can't make anybody conform to anything anyway. It's gonna be their choice, and when they choose to do what they choose to do, then they'll do it. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it. So again, I agree wholeheartedly. But I appreciate that comment. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. You too.
Shout out to Boston.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, definitely. Shout out to Boston in the house.
Boston in the house.
Boston's in the house, and I appreciate that, man. We're in Florida. We're in Boston. We're in Chicago, man. Where else are we?
Nationwide, baby.
Nationwide, baby. You know what I'm saying? So we did have a winner of the second CD.
Cool.
Her name is Sandra. So shout out to Sandra. We hope you will enjoy and be inspired by the message of Surreal. Congratulations, Sandra. Surreal. So we're going to wrap down again. We want to shout out Surreal. That is on Twitter at Surreal Music. That is on Facebook at Surreal Music. That is CARecordsonline.com.
Yes, sir.
And the YouTube page.
YouTube, Surreal Music.
Surreal Music as well. Did I miss any other ones?
Surreal is spelled lyrics backwards for those of you who missed that.
That's right. So make sure if you're Googling now, remember it is CIRYL. CIRYL if you're going to Google it. And that new CD is I've Been Changed. Tell me, what was the name of that track that you were telling us about earlier? The one that you liked?
I Worship You.
I Worship You. I tell you, this is what we're going to do. We usually don't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and, Jeremy, just give me...
Track 7.
Just about a minute. Can we get about a minute? Oh, no, we don't even have a minute. Here we go. Oh, there's the music right there. Well, anyway, Surreal, thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you, man. We appreciate having you, man. Remember, this is Real Family Talk. The website, realfamilytalk.weebly.com. On Facebook, Real Family Talk. On Twitter, Real Family Talk. And the YouTube page, Real Family Talk. And any emails, realfamilytalk@gmail.com. Real quick, next week, Tuesday, at the Experience Center, they're going to be having some debates. The sheriffs are going to be debating over there, as well as the school board members that are up for election. That's Kat Gordon, that's Mike Scott. So if you are interested in coming out to see a debate of the sheriff candidates and the school board candidates, it's go ahead out to the Experience Christian Center next Tuesday. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. They're going to be there from 6 o'clock. The debate is going to be over at 8 o'clock. So that's next week, Tuesday, June 26th. Until next week, family, this has been your host, Jay Real.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.